given us so far?
Well, I haven't mentioned tokenization, but that's what we do at RedSwan. Started RedSwan in 2018. And then that same year is when the SEC did two things. First of all, tokenization is converting equity or debt into digital securities. And I want to make sure that the audience understands this is not Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. Blockchain is a technology, and cryptocurrency is one of the functions of blockchain technology. But the other function of technology is a very highly encrypted ledger that keeps track of things in a very organized fashion. So in 2018, when I jumped into founding RedSwan, because I went to a conference that showed me how blockchain technology actually works. And coming from a capital markets background, I can see how digitizing shares into fractional shares was a big thing, because now more people can be inclusive in investing in the property, but also it eliminates the biggest problem real estate has, which is liquidity. Be able to sell your shares before that property is sold. And for many people, as I was in capital markets, you only have the larger institutions or large family offices giving the real estate because the check is pretty large and the holding period is unlimited. Just like right now, we're in a market where people thought they're going to exit this year or next year, but they're going to have to hold on maybe 2-3 years more. But in 2018, the SEC came out with two mandates. One was to ban ICOs, which are initial coin offerings, which is all that craziness that went on with cryptocurrency and cryptos in general. But they legalized STOs, security token offerings. And so that was something that clicked with me when I saw blockchain and I saw what the SEC did. I figured they must be thinking about something very important with regards to finance and securities by legalizing this. And that's really what gave me the emphasis to start RedSwan. And so if you now start looking at this technology and how this is a different way of looking at the way you finance your property, you start thinking differently about, first of all, typically you go to the well of friends and family and institutions to get your capital here in the United States. Well, you're limiting yourself if you're not opening up the capital to the entire world, right? The world has a very strong desire for your US dollar, especially countries that are having hyperinflation at 26%. Getting a dollar paying 8% as it goes a long way for them to hedge against their inflation risk. So that's just one aspect. But also having the aspect to be able to sell your shares. If you buy into a project and you put in $300,000 and you're now past that 12-month season period and you want to exit that property, typically you have to wait for a broker like myself to put it on the market, and then 6 to 9 months later we sell it and you get your liquidity back. Well, that could be unlimited period of time, but now you can take your shares, whether it be $300,000 in shares, put it on the exchange, share it with thousands of people who are qualified to buy, and now they're bidding to give you your liquidity, which I think is a fantastic opportunity for investors. So that's one of the reasons why we jumped into RedSwan, and I think it allows us, with an SEC license and a FINRA license, we're able to actually make bespoke securities that meet the needs of our customers. What does that mean? That means that in today's market, when your equity has gone down a little bit because of the interest rates, you can still create a preferred equity situation where maybe you're promising to pay out 7.5% on an annual basis for an equity piece of this company, and a person will take that because they look at they're coming in at a great time period where the price point is a little bit lower, but they get to stay with you for a longer period of time and generate a good yield. Well, that helps without the cap stack, as they're saying here, because it helps you be able to reduce some of that debt that's like the properties right now. So there's a lot of different things that I think tokenization can do to help property owners. And now we're really excited about it because with the license, we're actually talking to institutions, pension funds, wealth managers, because it's a total new game changer, right? It used to be that they would invest in, if they're taking $1 billion, I'm talking about a pension fund, they're going to put a lot of it, probably 2/3 of it, in liquid treasury bills, mutual funds, things like that they can quickly exit. Real estate will probably be 15 or 20% because they want that high yield that your real estate's providing, but they don't want that unpredictability, that risk level of not being able to sell the property. Well, now that they can buy the same kind of property with a digital share and they can exit when they want, it brings a risk level way down, and now you can get that higher yield with lower risk. And so we're really focusing on institutional capital because this is a bigger benefit to them, pension funds, to make that extra, 200 bips of yield on the capital they invest. So this is a solution for all of you who are looking for ways to recapitalize your properties. Even if you don't have a lot of equity in the property, you can actually use equity, preferred equity, to buy down debt, which I think in cases where you have variable debt, eliminating that debt as much as possible gives you more longevity in your asset. So it's just an example.
Just an example, and